Greetings, YouTube, to quote Carl Woodlin. Well, we got plenty of people in the comments tonight. Retro Fatima, I imagine that could be a troll, so if we can keep an eye on that, because may be wrong, but I've never heard of them before. That means saying hello. I'm not even reading that comment. I hope you're all well. I enjoyed last night's stream as I enjoy every other. I am like, Vouter is very much like myself. He speaks his mind, and I've got a lot of time respect for him. Although he has commented on my Streets of Rage stream, taking back his comments of saying Streets of Rage is shit. And I think that's a joke. Sean's here, Ratio Van Basten. Please check out my video that's uploading tomorrow. It features a package that came from Sean, and I thank you a lot in that. So just check that out tomorrow. Let me get me drink. I've got no ice. Well, I have, but it's downstairs and I'm lazy. So what I've done is pre-made a drink and put it in the fridge. We're still on the whiskey because I've not been to the shop to get any beer. Stu is asking if Fatima is any good at the javelin. So I assume he's referring to Fatima Whitbread there. Raz is here. Raz, I've just been watching your 90s 7-question video. I don't know why you've done it, because you're making excuses for why you've got no fucking answers because you're old and he was 27 when the 90s started or something like that. But in all seriousness, folks, go and check out Raz's video. It is interesting. I know I'll give him shit, but it's because I class him as a good friend and I know he can take it. So anyway, you're bored of me already. You've seen me fucking 27 times now, 27th stream tonight. So I'm going to introduce my first guest without further ado. Say hello, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Craig from Goodwins Place. Pretty new to the YouTubing scene and everything else, but I'll give a bit of an update on that in a bit.
Right. You got your little pinball thing that we're going to talk about a little bit later, because your channel's a little bit, you're not just a collector, you're a tinkerer, aren't you? You like definitely. Messing about with things and fixing things, and we'll definitely talk about that. You got some beautiful items. You know what I do? I get my little mouse, thinking everyone on the screen can see my mouse cursor, and no one can see it. And I'm pointing at the items I'm thinking of, like your maths up there, and no one can see doing it other than my fucking self. So, Craig, it's great to have you on.
Thanks for having us.
You got a little bit of a toned down Welsh accent, so we're not quite in Retro Red Steve's territory. So we don't need a translator tonight.
I'm Gavin and Stacey territory. I'm down in the south, so Barry Island.
Fair play. So I should be able to break down the accent barrier. Although I don't exactly speak Queen's English myself, do I? So I'm a commoner from the Black Country. So I'll introduce my second guest as well. Say hello. Introduce yourself.
Hello, YouTube. It's Sean from PompyGamesRoom here. So, great to be joining you guys. I think I said just a minute ago, actually, my background seems really sparse compared to you. So, I mean, it's, very, very sparse. But anyone that's been watching my channel will realise why I'm now in the shed. So, but
the game shed. I'm sure that's already a channel. You can't have that.
No, it is. I was very, very careful on the copyright infringements. So it is just a shed. It's not a gaming shed. It's it's a shed. So channel's PompyGamesRoom, and cover sort of retro game reviews, pickups, and bits and bobs like that. Really.
Wicked.
I keep looking here as well. I've got to look at the camera.
Don't worry about looking at the camera. I even forget about that because I'm always looking at the comment, mainly checking for sarcastic comments, funny comments, and the odd question occasionally comes up. So the first thing we like to get involved on the stream is a little bit of chat about lockdown and how it's like changed things for you, what you've been up to during lockdown. So what we'll do tonight, I always go to the person on my left, which is going to be Craig, and then we'll drop down to you, Sean, just to avoid any talking over each other, really. So Craig, if you want to tell us, we're 5 weeks into lockdown now, are we? So just talk a little bit about, I know you're still working, but what's changed sort of thing.
Yeah, so 5 weeks of working from home. I thought I was going to love it, but it's absolutely killing me. So I'm working from out here. That's why I've got an extra TV setup out here for my monitor and my day-to-day work. I'm working on quite a bit. So I work for the Welsh government, but I'm the least political person you'll ever meet, so don't worry about being a politician or anything else like that. I'm not like that. I work on the marketing side of things, so I do a lot of the tourism campaigns. But at the moment, I'm working on some of the NHS campaigns around testing and things like that. So this whole COVID thing has been an absolute killer. Just being out in this garage, it's actually crushed me wanting to come out here and film, because I do most of my filming out here, and yeah, just being out here like 9 till 5 or 9 till 6 or whatever, it's just like taking a bit of the love away from it. So every day I try and pack away all my work gear and put it into cupboards, so it's not there. So I've got an hour, and I always have an hour to maybe half hour to an hour to playing on something at the end of the day, just before I go back into normal life. So yeah, it's been interesting. I can't wait for it all to be over. I don't know how long it's going to be or what the new world is going to look like. I think it's going to be a very different, slow return, but yeah, can't wait for it. I just want to get out and meet some of you guys at some of the events and things. I'm a bit of a newbie in all this.
Oh God, yeah. I think everyone who's in the comments is like chomping at the bit. Oh, Tutor UK here, the face of cheerfulness on YouTube. It'll never be over. Thanks, Stu, for that. Oh, you, my little ray of sunshine, you are. But you're a parent, so I'm guessing you know the main difference is your kids are around all the time, which is what every parent seems to say.
My kids are, my eldest is 18. She just turned 18 a couple of weeks ago. So she's off to uni this year if it kicks off. And then my youngest is 16, so I've got 2 girls. And obviously in a house with 3 girls is...
No wonder you've got that room as an escape.
I built this garage purposely. So I built this with my bare hands about 3-4 years ago because I bought a retro Vespa to restore. So I built a garage for the Vespa to go in so I could restore it. And then it turned into my games room out here after that. So yeah, it's my escape. Nothing else. It's just full of crap. I'm not going to show you around it because the floor is full and everything's just full of shit everywhere.
That's what a proper collector's like. Although I've tidied the room today. So look, man, I'm never normally able to do this. I can move my chair everywhere.
Yeah, me. That's about as far as I can move on mine. And I'm literally. I know you always talk about the size of people's rooms. This one is about 7 foot wide by about maybe 14 foot long, and that's my garage. And I've got 2 motorbikes out here, 2 arcade machines, and all my other crap. So yeah, it's a bit tight.
It's bigger than mine, but as fucking hell, that's like the weirdest thing to say on a stream. Your room is bigger than mine for sure. But this will only last a couple of days. I'll start bringing some other shit in here to show off or to show on the channel, and again, I won't be able to move around. So we'll move down to Sean. Sean, how's COVID been treating you? Because I know you're in the more like admin sort of side of my sort of job, like you do the architect side of things, whereas
I'm the person you get angry at quite a lot. So.
Yeah. Before we start talking about fucking lockdown and everything, right? You architects, right? You have your lovely little drawings and your pencils, right? And then you'll decide to rub out a wall or something and move it somewhere. When that wall's built, it doesn't just rub out, you know, it's very difficult to move.
Oh, does it not? Oh,
no,
right.
It doesn't just disappear like that, mate.
I'll tell the union. I'm sure they'll be well happy to see that. So, well, I mean, you can see the colour of my drawings just up there. So that's a work in progress, Dane. So you'll love that. Look at that. That's proper finger painting for a 2-year-old. So you know.
I could probably work to that drawing better than one that you did, to be honest.
Yeah, that's that. No, I'm not going to argue with that. So, no, COVID's actually it's been a bit. It's changed the world, isn't it? I mean, everything's completely. It's one of the most well-used terms that I say. It's going to change the way everything works from now on. You know, employment contracts. There's going to be people like, were you unemployed during the COVID thing? It'll be like the what is it? The stuff that they put the telephone
PPI.
Oh, what is it? PPI. It'll be all that sort of stuff in 10 years' time, and it's frightening. It's like I think I touched on it in one of my videos actually recently. That it is weird because it's like the sort of thing you see in films and read about in like these graphic novels and stuff like that. Like the sci-fi novels and things. And but you never think it will happen. But when you're actually in it, it's completely different. Now it's like you can't even really go to the shops. You can't literally go out the front of your house or something. It's a bit weird. So I mean, our dog's barely left for a walk the past whilst we've been in lockdown, and it is just absolutely crazy. Work-wise, I mean, like Dane, you said, Dane, a lot of my stuff is office-based anyway. I ever go to sites to chat to angry plasterers and people setting out buildings and stuff like that. So, so we quite lucky. Myself and my business partner had a few jobs that we've been able to clear the decks almost, and we had a lot of stuff on. So it's been quite nice, really, to sort of have some office time rather than constantly surveys and things like that, and it just allows you really, working 4-day weeks and stuff like that as well. But it's you just got to get on with it. Everyone's in the same position, aren't they? It's a bit weird, but hopefully we'll never go through it in a lifetime again. So who knows?
Do you think, like, when we come out the side, like, the first day when, like, it's all over, will that forever be referred to as day dot or something now? Like, change the world forever, like before COVID and after COVID. I've said several times, though, I don't think all the changes for us will be bad. I've found, like, a lot, as I keep saying it every time I walk to the shop, although I got pissed on with rain today. I had to pop to the shop to get Dad something, and while I was in the shop, it chucked it down in rain. But everyone's a little bit more friendlier than normal. Most of the people, like, everyone says hello. Everyone's, normally when you're in a shop and people are fucking rude and just barge into you, no one does that anymore. They give you a nice wide berth. So I don't know. I think it's not always going to be, all the changes are going to be for the worse. I don't think we're ever going to go back to how it was completely, but as long as some of the changes are good, it won't be bad for us as a race. I mean, I know Dylan, who's in the comments, he's worried about 5G. I think him and his people are out burning down some masts now and stuff like that. His local supermarket keeps selling out a tin foil because he keeps making new hats on a daily and stuff like that, does Dylan. If you don't know Dylan, that's Hyper Trigger X, King of the Conspiracy. So
I found him actually through your streams, actually, Dana. I've got to admit,
I can only apologise for that, Sean. I can only apologise.
Well, it's 1-1 now on the plastering, eh? Let's call it 1. So that's fine.
They're all talking about football in the comments because Stu's upset that he's not sure whether Liverpool are going to be given the title because this is the closest they've come in the last 30 years or 20 odd years of winning it. And I just think it would be good if they cancelled the league just because it would be funny. Because Liverpool, the only other time they came close was when that Gerrard fell over. That was fucking funny as well. So it could be like a running gag that every time Liverpool get close to winning the title, they somehow fuck it up for themselves.
With COVID.
Yeah.
I imagine that the first guy who started COVID, the guy who ate the bat, he sat somewhere in China wearing a Liverpool top. That would be the fucking...
That's karma, isn't it?
Like, you know what it'd be? It'd be like, remember when they hit the beach ball on against Sunderland and that goal went in? Like, Liverpool, if it's either fucking like a fan causing them problems or like when Gerrard fell over, it'd just be a great running gag if Liverpool never won the league because of stupidity like that.
It would just be their luck, wouldn't it? It is a bit crazy.
I have to apologise. Dylan has now moved on from 5G. It's Bill Gates who's doing it. Bill Gates. That's it. Okay, Dylan. Dylan lives in a caravan out in the sticks. He forages from the land and wears a tinfoil hat. And he's got one of them CB radios where he's listening to the government, I think. That's what Dylan... He's been injecting himself with some Dettol today as well.
Good. I'll keep him safe.
Well, that's following health advice. So, it's each their own.
So anyway, moving on from COVID, one of the first things we always like to cover is like gaming history. What was the first system you got into? And not including your collecting, just work up to what systems you got before you started collecting. So, Craig, if you want to go first, tell us your gaming journey.
Yeah, so I listen to a lot of these streams, and I think the same systems come up a lot for people around the same age. So I'm an 80s kid, so 1980, and 40 end of this year. So I think my older brother probably introduced me to gaming more than anything else. So we started off, and my dad was always the one to buy them. My dad's never touched a computer in his life. He's a welder. So I don't know why he's had this obsession with buying computer games and systems for us and things. But I always remember, the first one I remember was a VIC-20. Obviously not much on that because I was quite young at the time, and we went on to the Commodore 64 straight after. My first proper console is the Sega Master System. And
Oh, you said it right. Well done. We like a Master System and not a Master System here.
Master System. And that's the one I owned as mine. I think that was my first proper console and first gaming system for me. And I was obsessed with that console. And I think I had everything for it that you could buy. I had the 3D glasses. I had every piece of equipment you could buy for it, the control sticks.
I'm just going to stop you there a sec. You know how you mentioned the 3D glasses? Because have you watched Stu's new video with his pickups, and he's going to some hodgepodge some way so he can get a pair of 3D glasses to work?
No.
I don't know why he bothers trying sorting it himself, because he's not the fucking most technically gifted. What he needs to do is get in touch with you, Craig, and I'm sure you'll sort it out for him, because he's bound to
you know about them. He's been in touch because he wanted he wanted my manual from Golfomania. I said, you can have the old fucking game if you want to.
He featured that in his video, to be fair.
I haven't watched any because I've been working. I'm way behind on my video updates, so I need to have a look. But in fairness, where are they? He sent me a couple of things through as well. So he sent me a couple of inserts for games and things like that. So fair play to the guy. So Master System was my treasured piece of kit, I think, and I had that for years. I think a Game Boy was soon after, probably alongside it, even though I normally didn't have many systems at a time. It was probably you buy one, and if you wanted another console, you sold that one to buy the next generation. But I think I'd done my parents' head in with the Game Boy. We were on holiday in Lanzarote, and we bought one, and my box is still up there, but I haven't got the original Game Boy anymore, but I've still got the box for it, and it's all in Spanish and their local language and everything. And I bought it with one of those hooky carts of about 120 in one or whatever it was, and it was one of those carts with every single game on at the time. So it must have been a bit after the launch. It couldn't have been straight away. But I mentioned before that I think my parents bought it for me because they were fed up of feeding me quavers. And back when the Game Boy was out, they had a competition in the Quavers crisps that if you got a little blue packet inside of it and ripped it open, you could win a Game Boy. And I think I had Quavers for about 6 months non-stop trying to win one. And then we went on holiday and they ended up buying me one to probably stop me from smelling the cheese. But it worked and I loved it. And I kept that Game Boy for years. As I said, I still got the box and I had the games for it for years. But again, as things moved on, I sold on consoles and bought another one. Then probably Mega Drive after that, again, all the way through to buying the Mega CD, the Menacer. I mentioned in one of my other videos as well. I had the Menacer, but at the time I had Coca-Cola wallpaper in my bedroom, which was a bit of a trend at the time. So you imagine your Coca-Cola wallpaper was all bright red, and of course the Menacer works off infrared light gun, so none of it worked. So every time I had to use it, I had to take it downstairs to my parents' TV, plug it in, have a quick go on it, and then take it back upstairs. So I never played the Menacer as much as I wanted, but they didn't release massive amount of games for it anyway. So after that, it was probably Super Nintendo, just mainly for Starwing at the time, I think. I think Starwing was the one that hooked me in, just from a local game shop that was showing it, and they used to do local competitions and things down there. So I think I played on that down there and ended up buying a Super Nintendo after that. The Amiga was always in the family as well. From when that came out, my brother was an Amiga nut and still is. He's got hundreds of Amigas and things. My brother's a welder as well, but he's probably the most techie welder I've ever met. He's got everything from the original Amigas with the monitors and everything, right the way through to the more modern ones and everything else. And they were amazing. I used to love playing on the Amiga. Then on to your PlayStations and things like that after that. and probably be a bit of PC after that as well. So I worked in a computer shop, and this is probably where I got my playing around with computers and things from. When I was, do you know when you do your GCSE or your school like work experience week?
Yep.
I went across to a computer shop, and I was the last person to get a placement. I didn't want to do it. I just left it right to the last minute, hoping that something would sort itself out. And I got placed into a computer shop, and they got me building PCs from scratch. I was slave labor basically for a week or 2 weeks or whatever it was, and absolutely loved it. And then I ended up working for that computer shop for about 2 years after that, every weekend building computers for them. It was the first place I ever saw the internet running and things like that. So PCs came on the scene quite quickly for me then, around 96 onwards. Yeah, so absolutely loved that. Then probably your original PlayStation 2 and Xbox were my last two before having kids, really. And both of those were, because I've been in that PC type environment for a while, I got into chipping and modding them and things like that. So playing around with them and doing soldering and stuff. So I did that for a while with the PlayStation and the Xbox. I think my one of my first videos on the YouTube is probably one of my first Xboxes as well. Then kids, really. So early 2000s, I had 2 kids, and then they got in the way, and you stopped buying consoles because you can't afford to spend on new generation consoles and things. I probably always had something knocking around, Mega Drives or whatever knocking around, but never my own original ones. But I've always used my kids as an excuse to buy systems as well. So everything from like the Wii and the Kinect and stuff like that. So if I wanted to buy an Xbox 360, I'd show them that. I don't even know what the name of the game is. That one where you could play with a lion or whatever it was, and they on the Kinect, and the kids would roll around on the floor and the lion would play with them. They loved all that crap. So yeah, so we bought Kinect and we bought a Wii and Wii U, and then I even used it as a Switch, and they're older now. Yeah, they fuck it up.
Again, my little ray of sunshine, to UK, spreading his charm across the stream as always. We'd be lost without him.
They've been good as gold over this lockdown, though. But now that they're like 18 and 16, all they've done is sit in the garden and drink bloody gin and things. So it's been crazy. I've been sat in here doing stuff, and they've been out there drinking gin.
I wish you wanted to mention gin, because now that opens the door for these lot in the comments to take the piss out of me, because I drink gin all the time. And who knows I do. So they'll be taking the piss out of me now. I've not got any gin in the house though currently, so I might have to get some for the weekend streams.
The only other stuff I've had in between all that is probably arcade cabinets as well, and I had them before the kids. I had my first one down my parents' house where I lived with my mum and dad, and I bought this arcade machine from down Barry Island and took it home, and this thing was massive. It just literally, do you know when you're taking it up a flight of stairs, I think if it moved either side, it would have scratched the walls or the stairs. And I remember my mum just had all the wallpaper done at the time. So it was the most delicate I've ever been lifting a bloody 40-kilo bloody arcade machine anyway. But I had that for a couple of years. And when I met my missus and we moved out, I cut it to bits. I couldn't get it back down those stairs, so I cut it to bits with a jigsaw, and took all the parts out and just literally sold all my boards. I had a stack of Jammer boards and games for it. I sold them to a mate for like 50 quid for the whole lot. And that's probably one of my biggest regrets of selling things from growing up. But I've got a couple of games back now, and yeah, still won't ever fill that hole, will it?
No,
and modern gaming, I don't do too much. I've got an Xbox One and I've got a PlayStation 4, but they're from default just because I bought them in bundles that I've picked up and fixed. So I've got one game for each of them. So I'm not really a modern gamer, but I am going to take a look at Streets of Rage 4 because in case anyone doesn't know, Streets of Rage 4 has been released, and we're running low on people who are streaming it, including myself. I've done it, but I just need to pick on something in the comments, right? Because they're saying put one if Dana likes girls' drinks. The first person who's put it is Mark Burnt Out Culture, who is the only person I have been to 2 events with, and he's not lasted the full night. So please don't give me shit because you can't drink. And the other one is Retro Reclaimer, who dresses like a girl in his YouTube videos. So please, Planet Retro,
put one in the chat if you drink gin. See, now we're getting more replies. We've got sensible people. So let's give Burnt Out Culture and Retro Reclaimer a clap in the comments for being a pair of dickheads. And also, you brought something up very good that I want people to tell us about in the comments. You mentioned your wallpaper as a kid. How important wallpaper as a kid. I remember I had one wall was He-Man wallpaper and the other wall was Thundercats wallpaper, but also bedspreads as well. I had an 18 bedspread, a He-Man bedspread, and a Thundercats one. So people in the comments, while we're chatting, I want to have a read then. What was your wallpaper and what was your duvet covers as kids? I remember my sister, because obviously my sister lived with us when she was a kid. Do you remember when, like, the pirouettes or whatever they were called, like the white faces and that were a thing in like the 80s? She fucking had that shit everywhere, man. I hated it, man. She had the masks on the wall and stuff like that. But we'll shoot over to Sean because everyone wants to hear your gaming history as well, mate. So from the beginning, if you would.
Well, again, like everyone seems to say, and like we've already been touched on this, it's sort of the same systems, really, but sort of probably a different order. But I vaguely remember my first ever console was probably around 89, 90, and that would have been Commodore 64. I think it was the Commodore 64C. I know it was a Light Fantastic pack, so I don't know what that would make it. I think that is a C. But we got that for one Christmas, and that was my first ever console. And like everyone else, I don't know whether it's just the size of the actual console, or consoles, or the actual computer, but it had to be set up on Christmas for you to come down and see, because otherwise there just would have been boxes everywhere. So, yeah, that was my first console really that I remember playing on. So I would have been about 5 or 6 at the time. And then around 91, I think I got a Spectrum ZX from a car boot sale. And sort of trying to remember some of the games I played on that actually. I know, sorry, going back to the Commodore, one of the games that it came with that I really enjoyed was CJ's Elephant Antics. Have you ever played that? I'm sure everyone has.
I've not played that. Did you have Aztec Challenge? That's the only thing I want to know.
Yeah, that's another one, and Batman as well. I remember Batman. That was a classic on that system. But the Spectrum, because I picked it up at a car boot and I was so young at the time, all I can remember was I had a Formula 1 game on it, and that's actually where I started watching Formula 1 from. So that was about 91. I had that for a few years, and then again at one Christmas, we got a Mega Drive, and that's where it all started for me, because the Mega Drive is my biggest nostalgia console. Yeah, it started from there really. So the Mega Drive, I ended up still playing that when I was in secondary school. We got it in like 92. So yeah, I absolutely love that console. I played it to death. Sonic 2, it came with Sonic 2 and Mega Games 2, I think it was, it came with. But it had a Super Hang-On on it and World Cup Italia 90. I just absolutely loved those games. And then FIFA International came along and was like the isometric view, and it just blew my mind, that just seeing a game like that. So but no, other than that, very much sort of the Sonic games dominated the Mega Drive, and Streets of Rage again, but my personal favourite would have been Ayrton Senna Monaco GP. Really enjoyed. Well, actually, quite factual with the post, to be honest with me. But and then in about, I want to say sort of 96, 97, my younger brother Ed got a PlayStation 1. And that was...
I just realised I had my shit camera on all night. I've had my shit camera on my laptop all night. I just realised.
Actually, I'm quite impressed with mine. Mine's really pixelated, but it's not come out too bad. But yeah, so the PlayStation 1 was really my younger brother, but we all played on it. And then I'm trying to think what we did after that. I think we had the PlayStation in the house for about a year. And then we got a GameCube again. Ed got a GameCube for one Christmas. That probably would have been about 98, 99. And then I don't know if you guys have done the same thing, but when you're sort of in your first full-time job, I think when you get paid your first ever sort of paycheck or something, I remember blowing that all in my first lunch hour, and I bought a PlayStation 1 and about 4 games. And I was like broke for the rest of the month, so I ended up Actually, that's why I took up running as well. I used to run home from work because I couldn't afford to catch the bus. So because you just blow your money on the first day you've been paid, the first lunch hour. So so I bought a PlayStation 2. That was my first console I solely bought. I then traded that in about 2002, possibly 3, for an N64. And played that to death as well. Really enjoyed the N64. Just brought a different edge to gaming for me, really. A lot of the games don't really hold up entirely great nowadays when you play them again. I think it's more nostalgia value looking at them now. But after that, my family emigrated to Canada for about 1.5 years, 2 years. My dad's work. And I was already in college, so I didn't want to sort of drop out of college. And I met my now wife as well, so I decided to stay. And so I inherited my little brother's GameCube, and that was a system that I played quite a lot on. A variety of different games, really. I can't remember exactly what I played. And then since then, after that, I think 2004-5, I got a PlayStation 3, and subsequently went on to a PlayStation 4. So, which I don't really play an awful lot, in all honesty. It's very much retro consoles myself. But I say that I've just been playing Pro Evo for like a month straight because of the lockdown. But if we hadn't had the lockdown, I probably wouldn't have bought that. So, yeah, so that sort of brings me up to where I am now, and I've got a PlayStation 4. I've never really, other than Football Manager, I've never really done laptop gaming or PC gaming. Probably in school I did. My friend had FIFA 97 on the PC, but other than that, really, it's all been sort of home console based machines and things like that, really. So that's up to date.
I always say I was never a PC gamer, but it's because I don't class the PC that we had. I remember pestering my parents saying I wanted a PC to do my schoolwork on, and they got me. Do you remember like the old IBMs?
Yeah,
they got me an IBM. They got me an IBM. I couldn't do no fucking schoolwork on it because it wasn't compatible with any of the fucking computers at school. So the only thing I did, I had 2 games on it. One was Lombard Rally, and the other one was Star Wars. Yeah, Star Wars. Them were the only. And I remember it was like, you had to go, like fly the Millennium Falcon through the Death Star and stuff like that. Them were the only 2 games I played. I did no fucking coursework or schoolwork on it. It couldn't be hooked up to the internet until I got my. I got a. Was it a Hewlett Packard? I think it was a Packard Bell. It could go online. I did no fucking schoolwork on it, none at all, because I paid for it with my own money and I wasn't using it for school. I played The Sims on it. That was about one of the only games I played on it. I used to hang out online on MSN chat and just toss around on websites. And I remember I probably paid £1,500 for this, like out of like you know when your parents like put money into a fucking account for you for when you become 16 or whatever. I spent that on that and fucking I did nothing with it. I'm trying to think, man. There was another game that I had on it, and it was fucking shit. My computer was not. The only other game I played was Football Manager, obviously. So I paid £1,400 to play Football Manager with my mates.
I used to just run MAME on mine. I used to get the highest spec PC you could get, and then run MAME on it off a floppy disk. I was
just about to say the only other thing I used to have on it was MAME on a CD.
Yeah, I'd done computers in college and then into uni, but my college course for 2 years we did track and field, and that's all we used to do in college for 2 years is play track and field, and I still can't do the fucking high jump now. It's impossible.
But I killed that PC anyway because I used to go on Kazaa and LimeWire, and that's I probably lost money because although I sold a shit ton of hooky CDs and stuff, by the time I played for the ink, the cake, I always remember where I live. There used to be there is still a shopping centre there where it has an internal market inside, like a proper market inside the shopping centre. I used to go in there because the guy used to sell me a load of cases and DVDs really cheap. And there was also there was the game shop where I used to swap my PS1 games in, like in fact, I wonder what happened to that guy because he had that shop forever, and then when they closed the market, they just disappeared. But yeah, that's all I did on my fucking £1,400 PC was play The Sims There was another game with a woman on the cover, which got released on the PS2, I believe, and actually run a lot better. It was like a James Bond, like sort of spy game. Someone will tell me in the comments what game it was. Run like absolute shit on my computer. And the only other thing I did is play Football Manager with my mates on it. Other than that, I did nothing productive with it whatsoever. But my first wage when I started working, to go back to Sean, I booked a holiday to go to Ibiza no sooner I started working with my mates. But all my best mates were 2 years older than me, so they were all earning money. I was on something like 60 quid a week YTS. I'd already paid for the holiday with another. I think I had about like it was $2,000 this thing. So I bought that PC. I booked this holiday, but I'd got to get my own spending money. So for fucking a whole year till this holiday, I paid my mum housekeeping of 20 quid a week out of my YTS, and I didn't go out. And I used to save 40 quid. So I had spending money, and I just blew the whole lot for 2 weeks in Ibiza. But it was fucking worth it. Every single penny was worth it. Dark Angel, no, it's not Dark Angel. It's a 3-syllable game. I want to say Something Forever is that game with the woman in. But I can't think what it is. But someone, if you see it in the comments, it plays a lot better on the PS2 than it did on my PC anyway. It couldn't run for shit. So the next thing I'd like to talk about is tell us a little bit about your channel, Goodwin, because you're not just a collector, are you? You're very much a tinkerer and a repair person. And tell us about your pinball, because for anyone who doesn't know your channel needs to check out that video. So just tell us about. Yes, that's the one. No one lives forever. Ding ding ding. Winner.
Sounds very
winner.
I actually remember that one now. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I do remember that one.
No One Lives Forever. That's the one. It run like absolute shit anyway. I've not played it on the PS2. I've got it down here somewhere. It probably never get played. PS2 is my junk collection. I won't lie. This is where I upset everyone in the comments. But yeah. Tell us not so much your YouTube journey, just like what you like doing on you, because you're not just like everyone else. You don't just do pickups and stuff. Like I think one of the first videos I remember watching was that Menacer repair video.
Yeah. So I do a lot of playing around with kits and things and fixing things, and I'm the weird one that goes to things, and if there's a game shop or anything, I'm the one that asks them for anything that got broken, because I just want to mess around with it. And I went to the only gaming event I've been to is sort of gaming event was the Bristol Comic Con and Game Con last October, and the only thing I walked away with accessories wise was a Game Boy printer. And that was one of the videos I wanted to do on my channel to fix that and get it working. So it started probably buying some consoles and some dodgy pickups off of people. And
Tutti UK, one of them, just throwing it out.
No, these are all.
Or his mate James. There's a guy in the comments actually. If you need any broke systems that you want to fuck about with and fix, Darth Steve. Is it 333 or 666? Darth Steve, he only buys broke consoles. He doesn't want stuff working. He's got a pile like this that needs fixing. So he could keep your channel going for years. Good old Darth Steve. I mean, I believe he's got a super scope with no internals that he bought off Basabi James.
I can't fix that. I like to mess around with it. I'm not your most super techie though. I can solder. I can work my way around a circuit board and things, but I'm not like super geeky on the electronic side of things. So I don't know what resistor's got to go where or anything else. If I do, I'll look into it and I'll research it and I'll find out about it. But I think a lot of it is from just I always want to have a go at everything. So I'm one of those people that if I've got to pay for something, it's not because I want to be tight, but I want to have a go and just do it myself. So that's everything from building this garage that I'm sat in now. Right next to me, there's down this way next to the arcade machines is a 1960s Vespa. And I wish I started my YouTube stuff before when I started doing that, because that's taken me 3 years to do. And I bought it from Italy, had it imported, and then stripped it down and rebuilt that. I never worked on a Vespa engine or anything else before. I sprayed it. I've done everything you can think of, but learning from YouTube mainly. But getting into gaming videos and things, and doing the projects I've done now, it's from pickups and just buying broken shit off people on Facebook Marketplace and things, really, and then trying to fix them. And then that one is probably that pinball machine that you mentioned. I did over Easter weekend, and that's built out of spare parts. So I've always wanted to make a virtual pinball. So if you haven't seen these before, there's a monitor laying down, and then obviously your monitor for your back glass, and you've got your arcade buttons either side for your pinball flippers. And I've always wanted to make one, but every time I look into them, it seems super expensive. But over Easter weekend, I started having a look around for parts out here. I had the kids' old Mac Mini that was up in their bedroom that they weren't using anymore. That's an ancient Mac Mini. I think it was like 2010 or 2011 Mac Mini. I had loads of spare buttons from my arcade machines, and a couple of monitors just knocking around. So over Easter weekend, I robbed a couple of kitchen doors from out the kitchen from when we'd done that out. Just knocked together a pinball machine, and yeah, I love it. It's sprayed it, and it's not pretty at all. It's a bit of a rough if you look at it close, but it works lovely. And for a fairly low spec Mac running Windows 10, it's a great bit of kit. And I didn't realize how much I'd play it. I thought I'd build it and then get rid of it, or just it'll go in the corner and not get used. But there's a couple of pinball games on there. I got like 300 different tables on it, and yeah, I absolutely love some of them. They're amazing, and yeah, I can never fit a pinball machine in here. So if I did want to get one, I'd have to take something out. So maybe one day, but yeah, that's the type of things I like to do. But obviously, you can't do content like that every week because yeah, I'd have to have a Patreon, and people have to pay me to buy all the kit because I haven't got enough cash and enough spare parts knocking around for it.
I've got like a lid off the top of my can of Coke that I can donate to you if you want that.
I'll do. I like that.
A ring for. I've got a quick question for you both, so we'll let Sean answer it first. From Pete Armour, question to the guests: any consoles you'd like to own but never have? So to Sean first.
I would say when you first start YouTube, you buy everything. So everyone does it. They say that you just think, oh, that would be great, and it's so I think I don't really have a console. Like, I'm not really interested in Jaguars and Master Systems. I don't know how you guys are saying it on air. So
what
is that
the fuck? It's been nice having Sean on here. He's been a great guy.
Yeah, just adding to the list of things I can get kicked off this video for. Bad drawings and pronouncing Sega consoles wrong. At least I'll tell you what, as Retro, is it Retro Steve? I can never remember all of his words, numbers after his name, but the way he said Sega was quite funny.
Sega.
Sega.
Is that a Welsh thing? Is it Goodwin?
That's a Valleys thing. That's not a Welsh thing.
Valleys.
I watched these streams back on the next day in work, and I put them on 1.25 speed, but I had to slow that one back down.
Yeah, it just sounds wrong. It's a bit like Chinese whispers. He lives in the valleys, so everyone's pronounced it, and someone's gone Sega, and it's just carried on like all that side of Wales. So
I had to brief Steve before that stream, and he won't mind me saying, I went, Steve, man, you're going to have to slow down your talking. I said, because if I've got to follow what you're saying, man. And to be fair, he was good as gold, man. And I like Steve, man. You can have a good crack with Steve. So any system at all? Like,
yeah, I mean, I've owned pretty much everything I've wanted to own. There is one sort of similar question. One that I probably want to buy back of consoles that would probably be the Saturn, because I bought the Saturn like 3 times. And I was chatting to Retro Jimmy about this today on comments, actually. I probably want to buy a Saturn and really get into it, if that makes sense. Like, give it an actual chance, because there's not really many other consoles that... the crux of it is no. So, other than the Sega Saturn, I think.
Quick one before Goodwin answers. Retro Jimmy, is he your friend? Because he subbed to my channel today. I'd not seen him before, but he's subbed to my channel. Retro Jimmy. Sean?
Oh, me? Oh,
yes.
No. No, I just came across him. So, like yourself, it's good though. Very good. Really enjoyed the live stream with him. So it was.
Really Jimmy good. Retro, you mean? I've had someone.
Again, it's like there's someone called Jimmy Retro, so there's like a cheap Mexican equivalent going around as well as there. Yeah. So,
I have to worry, man, because there's some idiots going around trolling, man. And so I'm watching who's fucking following my channel. And when you said that, I thought, oh, perhaps it is fucking Jimmy.
No.
Jimmy Retro's who I had on the stream. Retro Jimmy. I have no clue who he is, but he followed me today.
Lovely
so
guy. Lovely. No, I've no idea who he is either. So, but
as long as he doesn't troll me, he's all right.
Sorry.
So, how about you, Craig? Anything that you don't own that you would like to?
I've only ever owned like mainstream stuff, so I've never owned any Neo Geo or anything else like that. But the one I think I'd probably go for if I was going to buy something now and I had the cash for it would probably be a Virtual Boy. Again, probably a pile of shit to play, but it's just because it's gadgety and it's a bit of a gimmick to me. And it's one of those ones I keep an eye out for broken ones on eBay and things. But I think the way that it works is a lens that flicks around in it, and the motors on them go. So I keep an eye on them, but they don't come up cheap, do they? They're not a cheap console to get
how
hold
much
of.
are they now? They really keep their price, don't they? They've always stuck in the high sort of brand of sort of pricey items.
I want to say CX have started stocking them, but I don't think they've got any in stock.
They've never got them in stock. It's on their site now, which gives me a little bit of hope that they're going to, but that they'll take them in trade. But I can't see many people. If you own one of them, you're not going to take it to CEX to trade in, I don't think.
No, but the funny thing is my cousin, I spoke to her today, actually, her husband, when his dad was clearing out the loft, he gave me a lot of stuff that's gone in my collection. And my cousin's husband is adamant that he used to have a Virtual Boy as a kid and he can't find it loft anywhere, so it would have been imported. And I was going to say that's the one thing I like to have, just like you, Craig, probably not to play on, just because it's a cool little item. It's just, as you say, very gadgety. I like one myself. I see them at the event. I don't want to have a guess because they never seem to have the price sticker on them, how much they're worth.
Yeah.
Oh, am I getting echo back then? Oh, it's all right. It's all right now. But yeah, they never seem to have the price on it. I want to have a stab in the dark. You're probably looking at 250, 300 quid for one. It may be more. I may be wrong.
Yeah. Am I frozen? Can you hear me?
You are froze, but just refresh her.
Okay.
Hello?
I've been looking at them from Japan and things. And I think that's probably where I'll buy one from if I get one. I'll probably get a box one from Japan at some point.
Is it the same box?
Yeah, Japanese Alan seems to import them. Craig, I think you've cameras froze. Let me just... If you just drop out the stream and re-click the link, it'll bring you back in, mate, because I think your camera's froze. I can hear you. I mean, unless you want to stay with no picture. But, yeah, the Virtual Boy. If anyone in the comments actually knows how much a Virtual Boy goes for usually at the events, I want to guess about 250, 300 quid.
Yeah,
and he's
probably about right there.
We've got your picture again there. There's probably just a little dip. That pinball thing looks so impressive. Keep changing in the background. It does look really cool. Honest to God, anyone, if you've not seen Craig's video on that, go and check it out.
There's something more you can do with it. I'm going to have to do a follow-up video on it, I think, at some point. So, yeah, I'll have a look.
That might, like, I know you don't really promote your videos on Facebook or anything. I'm not seeing you post any, but that is definitely something like a unique video that people in the community who don't just watch YouTube, who are just on the Facebook groups, that they would be interested in something like that, definitely. So it might be just worth just in that one.
There's a couple of them just for virtual pinballs, and I've posted it in there, and I don't post a lot on my own Facebook feed, but yeah, I posted in a couple of the forums, but yeah, it's different, isn't it?
Yeah, it's cool, man, and the more I see it, the more it impresses me. So what we'll do is, being as you've changed positions, now I'll start going to Sean first. You'll go second, if that's okay. It's just so I know who's talking when and where. So a little bit about YouTube. So Sean, your story first, because you've been around YouTube a little while. You've had a break. You personally came across me probably, 6-7 months ago. And one thing I've got to say, I take my hat off to you. You watch fucking every single video I've done. And I've turned out some real shit back in the day. Not that it's got any better, but man, you're massively committed. You are one of them who purges people's channels, and my hat off to you that I'm not wearing.
Yeah. I've I've done that with a few channels. After this stream, actually, I found people, and just the thing is, I load up my watch later list. I literally just add everything, and
Nice.
so I've got my laptop and I've got 2 screens. So effectively, I just have stuff. It's one of those things. I just have stuff in the background. You know what I mean? And then just occasionally glance over to have a look if you hear something. And but yeah, I've been there from the Dainster 83, wasn't it? Was it Dainster 83?
Yeah, Dainster 83.
So no, it's a great channel. When you come across a channel though, it's good because when you start, not everyone can do it. I understand if you come across a channel, but if you've got an office job, it's easy. You don't even have to, you can really learn about people that way and what their likes and dislikes are and things like that. So but I do binge watch a lot of things, so I would agree with that. My YouTube channel, I started it and things.
Like who did you use to watch first? What made you want to do your channel, and then your journey through YouTube? Because that's how I know you took a break out and now you're back, and just your general experience as YouTube as a platform and a community sort of thing.
Yeah, cool. So I started off watching. There was a channel who I thought someone was talking about the other night. Actually, there was a channel called MN12 Bird in Canada, in Vancouver, and he used to repair consoles and do console overviews and stuff like that. So it's MN12 Bird. I'm pretty sure that's his name. And there was another guy called Luke Moore that I used to watch an awful lot. I don't even know if these channels are still going actually, but Luke Morse was really interesting because he was in Japan and he used to go shopping in these I think it was called Hard Off, but it was like a flea market store. But you just go in there and you just see consoles laying around, and it was really interesting to watch because it's something we just don't get over here. And other people, Happy Console Gamer, although I haven't watched him a lot recently, so I think I actually unsubscribed from him. But so I watched a lot of those channels that everyone watched when he first started, and then I think when I thought I wanted to make a YouTube channel, it was quite difficult because you're watching people on the other side of the world, so that what they pick up at flea markets and garage sales, as they call them, you can't get. So I then sort of stumbled across a lot of UK channels and stuff. So I think my first real UK YouTuber I subscribed to was Xfile 2708. Marcus, who was on here a little while ago.
He's not been on here. He's not been on here yet. I'm working on him, but he is in the comments.
But he was in the comments, wasn't he? He was in the comments for one of them.
He's made an appearance in the comments, yeah.
Yeah, he's a lovely guy, Marcus. I had a lot of emails with him, and I think we started up our channels about the same time, but he was going for a full set Mega Drive collection, and it was so amazing watching him get stuff. And hats off to the guy. He didn't stop at anything. He just, when he was focused, I think he even started collecting GameCube halfway through as well. But he just sort of vanished. I don't know what happened, but he just disappeared. But other than that, then I decided I wanted to make a channel. So it's going to get a little bit depressing here for everyone listening. But so I lost my younger brother. I had 2 brothers. I had 2 brothers, so I've actually lost both my brothers. In 2007, I was playing a football match, and my little brother passed away from a heart condition we didn't know about. My memories and nostalgia has always been very important to me. And I was watching these channels and seeing people pick up games. I thought, you know what? I'd love to be able to. That's what I love about YouTube. You can look back on your videos and you can see different parts of your life going, I was going through something there. And YouTube does help in a way, but it helped me, one, remember my brothers a lot, because I pick games up and just say I got this, got great memories of playing this and stuff like that. And instantly, just seeing that box art or something and holding it, you're taken back to that moment. You know what I mean? So I started the channel in 2010, and then I lost my older brother in 2011 in a very similar thing to what we're going through now. It was like a swine flu pandemic that went round, and my brother away from it. It just not long ago, and passed away. So I lost both my brothers in quite a quick, short space of time. So YouTube became really important to me because it was a way that I could actually share my memories, and especially buying different consoles, because I was never really into certain consoles, but I would buy them just for memories effectively. And then that sort of snowballs, you know what I mean? So you just sort of, you get into more things. And so then it was like you start to read sort of wrestling stuff, like the WWE network and things like that. And I find YouTube a very nostalgic place. So I think I really started it really because of all of that, you know what I mean? So just to record your memories, and but also, I mean, you wanted to find out new sort of consoles, and you know, I'm no expert on any of the consoles I own, but you know, I sort of know what games I like. But listening to other people and watching people in videos like this, you go, you know, I've heard about 5 or 6 games actually during the streams you've done with other people, and thought actually that looks quite decent. Just search out. And yeah, so I think YouTube really, I was always on the outskirts watching other people's videos, and you know, one day I just thought I'm just going to make a video, and I put a few FIFA videos up because that's what I had big memories of back then. And yeah, I mean they're still getting, one of them's got like over 100,000 views. The production on it's awful, you know, like literally just awful, and it's like you just think, what are people watching? So, but yeah, I mean, it's funny actually. I've just seen on the comments one of my little brother's best friends, a guy called Dale D Wizzle, I think, right at the top.
Yeah,
he's on the.
I've noticed him in the comments.
Dale's a lovely guy. He's actually on the fence about creating a YouTube channel at the moment. So he does a lot of live streams at the moment for Xbox on Mixer. So I think I'm slowly working on getting him on YouTube, but he's a lovely guy, Dale. So yeah, hi Dale, by the way. Yeah, so it's very important to me like that. I always wanted to have a sort of a memory, really, and that's why I started YouTube. It's a bit like a journal in many ways. But again, coming back to what I said earlier, Dane, you know, you start off watching everyone else's videos, and then you just start from the beginning, so you can find everything out. Not in a stalker way. That sounds really dodgy, but you know what I mean. But it's, you know, it's nice. Like if they say, like, I remember when you picked up the Timmy Mallet thing in the background, you know, and stuff like that. So it's you just know where stuff's come from, and without meeting people, like, I don't get to many of the events. So it's you sort of, you know, like it's the first time we've ever spoken. It's really easy, you know, so you sort of know each other, what you're into and stuff like that. So that's very much my YouTube journey and where I am now, in all honesty. So
I can relate to you. Like, obviously I haven't lost anyone, and that's why I started collecting. But almost when I did start collecting, I was ill in when I turned 30. I went into hospital with kidney stones, and when I was in there, they found out I was diabetic. So I started giving up drinking and stuff like that, because I've already got polycystic kidney disease from my mom, which is why my mom's in hospital currently, which caused me to have high pressure. And I proper went cold turkey on like going out drinking, doing stuff I enjoyed. And I needed a void to fill, like, you know, I needed an escape. And that's kind of how I started collecting, because while I was collecting and while I was playing the games, I wasn't worrying about my own health conditions.
Yeah.
Not that I was neglecting them. It's just, it was my way of not letting them get on top of me and me thinking about them 24/7. Like, you know, I could come in here or my old games room and just have an hour or 2 hours. And as you say, like, man, it's that nostalgic memories that come back, and that's how I started. It's not how I cope now. Like, I'm as good as I can be. I'm on top of everything, and now I'm glad I've got a hobby. And to be honest, I gave up drinking for a long time, but that made me miserable as well. Like, you know, I probably went about looking after my own health conditions the wrong way. I went cold turkey. I gave up the drinking. I gave up eating chocolate. I started eating healthy, which is good, but it made me miserable because I wasn't doing anything I enjoyed. So now I've learned to balance everything a little bit better to make myself more happy and comfortable with life. And I've got a hobby out of it, you know, so that is a good thing. But
that's what it's about. I totally agree.
But obviously, is it D Wizzle? Is that the Dale? Is that who you're talking about?
Dale. He hasn't created a new channel yet. I've just actually texted him before I came on. He's. I always get on really well with Dale. I've known him for years. Like literally, probably he was about 5 when I first met him. So he's about 25 years I've known Dale, but he'll do really well on YouTube, actually, I think, because he's a nice guy, and I think if he does videos like this and stuff, you'll definitely fit in within the community. So but that's what I love, actually, because I don't know if anyone says it, but I've gotten to the stage now where I share my YouTube channel with everyone. I'm not really like one to hide it. If someone finds out I've got a YouTube channel, I'm real. So, this is me. You know, I'm the same. If you chat to me in the street, I'm no different. So, you know, people are going to judge you because you've got a YouTube channel. I
No,
don't really care, to be honest.
I don't bother. Like, it is all on my own, like, social media and stuff. I don't promote it because some of my mates would just fucking troll me and rip the piss out of me. But it doesn't bother me because I've known them all too long, and I control them and rip them even more. But what I'd say, right, is Dale, in the comments, take the lead. I go on Mixer. It's not a great platform. I don't enjoy it. I've streamed from my Xbox One today, but I was just about to say what Rob Gernaldinho's put. If you think Dale should do a channel and get involved in the community, put a 1 in the comments, man, and show him some support. Because we're always after some good, decent people here in the community. So let him know that we want him to join in. That's a good one for me. So
Nice.
so we'll move on to Craig and your YouTube journey, because I've gone back and looked at your channel, and it's had many transformations in it. You start off with gaming, then did you go on to something with your bikes and stuff and come back? So the whole YouTube journey, what made you want to do it? Who were you watching? And, you know, you've almost, like, you know, I don't want to... Gus Newton, you were in Gus Newton streams when me and Gus first saw you. We checked out your channel, really enjoyed it, and you know, you've come into the community, and you can tell you're a genuine guy, man, and that's why obviously you were up for YouTuber of the month, because you know, you're a good lad. If
You had me on the
no other
first,
word.
so I couldn't go begging for votes. Yeah, so my journey around this. So yeah, I set up a YouTube channel back when I first set up my Google account, I think. And YouTube was a very different place back then. And yeah, you could do anything you wanted on YouTube. You were monetized straight away. You could do anything you wanted on advertising.
I do anything off in once anyway, but no one's going to monetize me because I swear too much.
But I didn't do it for that. I've done one video of an arcade game build that I did out of an original Xbox running coin ops, and I literally just filmed it playing and put that up, and that's been up on my channel for about 8 years now. After that, I've used it, and I've got a load of private videos that I've just put up with, like, family videos and things, and I've left them unlisted just so I've got them there as a bit of a digital archive, really. And I didn't really use it for years after that, and I started watching some arcade related stuff, and mainly American guys. There's a guy called John's Arcade, and he's an American with a super American accent and everything, and quite cheesy, but he's got this amazing basement arcade of all his games he does, and I think he rents them out to places as well. But he does a lot of fixing, so I think I got into it because I was looking to fix something on mine, looked it up on YouTube, and then found out that people were just making this kind of content. So I started watching him for a while. Then I started watching a lot of the US channels like Game Chasers, Pat the Nerd Punk, who's the other ones out there? NES Pursuit, where they were trying to go for the whole collection of games and things, and they've evolved loads of times since then. I think the first UK YouTuber I found was probably Alex, Nintendo Arcade.
Yeah, Alex, he's been on the stream. Nice guy, Alex, as well. Met him at events and at Revival.
I started watching him, and he'd done a Sky Skipper cabinet and things like that. And then I think I went from there to finding just different gaming YouTube ones and console YouTube ones, just from searching around, and found yourself, Gruss, and others, just to pass the time, really. But in the meantime, because I work in an office and I manage a team of about 20 people, so I got a job where sometimes I got to get up and speak in front of like large audiences. The biggest one was in Cardiff City Stadium last year for about 200, 300 people, and I hate it. I absolutely hate presenting. I hate speaking. I hate any kind of like public speaking, whether it's a table full of people or a room full of people. And I started watching. I started looking into. I was going away for work to New York. I was searching for New York game shops, because obviously that's the first thing you do when you're going somewhere for work. You have a look what game shops are over there. And I stumbled across James Buckley from the In-Betweeners. And he does a channel called Complete It Mate. And he's moved to Twitch now, which has pissed me off a bit, because he was pretty good when he was on... he was the only modern gaming one that I'd watch on YouTube. And he did a video in New York, and I started looking back at his history and things. And he said when he was Jaying in betweeners, he was the right twat, and he was like the one that always shouting and showing off to everyone. He said, but if you ever watch him in an interview, he's always sat at the back because he absolutely hates speaking to people as himself. And I kind of modelled my channel based on that I hate presenting, I hate doing it. But I thought the more I do things like this, live streams and videos and stuff like that, the more I get comfortable with it, and it does work. It's a different way of doing it, but and obviously when you're presenting, you can't edit it in any way anyway. But it just helps a lot, really. So 2019, I think New Year's resolution came around, and I'm not one for all that New Year's resolution thing, but I decided I was going to do YouTube. So I think January I started doing some pickup videos of consoles and fixing them, and they took off, and they've got loads of like views. I still get comments on some of the PlayStation 4 fixes now, and they're the ones I get the most views on it, rather than any of my pickup videos and things. So I've moved from doing videos for my own development, and then I started going into, oh, well, if I do this video, I might get views. And then I've gone to the whole other end of, I don't give a shit about views. I just want to do the content because I enjoy doing it. And it's just been a good journey throughout. And I don't put everything on YouTube. I do stuff off camera. Like I do a lot of Game Boy mods and stuff like that, but I'm not really interested in doing them on camera because there's too many people doing them. People like the Retro Future. I don't know whether you've seen him, Elliot.
Yes.
He's quite commercial. I used to enjoy his channel at first, but it's the same stuff over and over again now, so I don't watch so much of that anymore. There's another guy called my mate Vince that does a lot of like electrical repairs and things. But I watch that.
I like my mate Vince. I like my mate. What I'll say about my mate Vince is he always admits that he started YouTube purely to make money for his own electrical company at the time. So like almost like I accept someone like that. Plus what he does, right, I will throw out there, right, he doesn't have a Patreon. He purely earns on what he makes, but he is a channel who I think, you know, Patreon would be a perfect thing for, because he's providing a service. Because if I'm not wrong, does he fix stuff like washing machines and microwaves and stuff like that? So, you know, I think I watched a video that helped me fix my oven, which saved 200 quid. So to give him £1 for that 1 month that, you know, I fixed my washing machine, that's the perfect use of it, I think, when someone is offering a service. And plus, he never pretends that he come out to be anything else other than I'm going to show you how to do things. Now, to me, that, but he doesn't go that route because he's been successful. He's got the views. He's got the things. But what he does say is the fact that he can make money from YouTube allows him to do other stuff, what he enjoys doing. Like I know he's massively into his console fixing. He's clearly got a passion for consoles. But he says, I wouldn't be able to do certain videos if I didn't do the ones that make me the money to keep my full-time job, which I totally understand. But I've fixed loads of stuff from his channel, and I don't know. He just presents it really well, but
his videos are like an hour long. Anything. Yeah, he's like an hour-long video every time, and sometimes you watch an hour video and he doesn't fix it. He gets to the end and he's like, "Oh well, couldn't get it working. On to the next one," type of thing. And you're like, "Bloody hell! I wouldn't have the balls. I wouldn't put that up if I didn't fix it at the end of it." There's only one thing I've never fixed, and that was a Zelda watch, and that's still flashing like mad. So I got it working to a certain point, and I've never fixed it. And I put that video up, and a couple of my mates give me a ribbon around it. They're like, "I watched your video, and you didn't fucking fix it. What was the point in that?" I'm like, "Well, it was just something I worked on, and I didn't want to chuck away the content." So I'm just here to really just get involved in it. Really now, I'm not really into it to get subs and do all these things to grow the channel in any way, because I work in a digital type of area anyway, so I know all the SEO side of things. And there are things you could do to try and get a load of subs, but I just can't be bothered. I do it for fun, and it's good fun, and I do enjoy it now. And I'm pretty sure that probably the best way to be is to get some fun out of it.
But I will say to yourself, like, you know, you will no doubt that some of those videos where you're fixing things or where you're creating something like the pinball machine, that will have an influence on someone else or will help someone else for sure, man. So it's good to have people in the community that have a little. I mean, because I wouldn't have a fucking. Don't get me wrong, I try and fix stuff right, but my level of fixing stuff is like fucking Frankenstein creation, and I sometimes fix it, and sometimes it goes in the fucking bin, you know. But it's good to have people in the community who do these creations that, you know, if someone's got the similar sort of fault, either A, they can have a go themselves, or B, I've spoke to you, I have got that parcel packed up, and I've got stuff that you can create content fixing stuff for me, and we can come to some sort of agreement. You know,
fixes as well. So most of the time that I fix things, it's normally because the battery's leaked or something's really simple fix, something snapped, something's broken inside. And people just won't try and fix anything. I fix everything. I'm one of those people that won't throw something away. I'm a proper hoarder. I've got tons of stuff just knocking around here that I haven't fixed half of it. It's just building up on the to-do pile. But coffee machines and things like that, and espresso machines, I won't pay full price for one. I'll go and buy a broken one for like 15 quid, and I'd rather ship the parts from the Netherlands than bloody buy a full price one. But
how good are you at PS2 controllers? I got a PS2 controller here that hasn't worked since I got it on eBay. Working.
They're a nightmare control.
You know what? You know what the problem is with PS2 controllers, and I've found this out. PlayStation had those controllers manufactured at 3 different companies, so you could take apart 3 different PS2 pads and not get the same parts from each one because they were all done slightly differently. The only thing I do,
videos I watched at that. So
yeah, the only thing that is good with them, you know, if you've got a shitty thumbstick, you can swap them in and out. But literally, I take them apart and your fucking mind's blown. But I tell you what, Xbox One controllers are all the same. There's 2 different ways they've made them, and it's this top bit here. See this bit here? Yeah, you take that off. And one is put together one way and one's put another way, and you can't get these shoulder triggers back on with it, which I found out when I bought a job lot off. So I do buy stuff to fix that's broken myself. Well, soldering skills not the great, but again, it's just something I want to do as a little bit of a hobby for myself. Like, you know,
that's it. That's all I do it for. It's just I never do stuff to sell. And really, if I got an access couple of consoles, like I've got a couple of Mega Drives here, which I done the 60 hertz and Japanese to English language region mods on them with switches and things. They're here. I've done them. I'm not really interested in like selling them on. If somebody wanted one, then obviously I'd let them have it for a decent price. But I'm not really in this to fix things and sell them on. I picked up an Xbox One. There's a video back about 6 months ago, and it was a proper dodgy pickup from Newport, which is towards the Severn Bridge, over towards that way. And there's an area down there called Pill, and this guy was selling this bundle of broken consoles, and it was too good to be true. And I'd seen it come up on Facebook Marketplace, jumped on it straight away. I was like, I want to come and have a look at these consoles. Yeah, no worries. It's over my mate's house. Come and meet me at this address. And I drove to this dodgy area of Pill, and there was kids having like fights and drinking on the streets and everything, and it was a proper like rough area. And I was like, oh shit! Parked my car up, locked it, and I was in my work gear, so I had a suit jacket, jeans, and a shirt and everything on. I thought, oh, here we fucking go. Walked across the road, buzzed the buzzer for this place, and it had steel gates on it, like prison gates. And I could feel my heart going already, and I was like, oh, I really don't want this. I don't know what am I doing. It feels like you knew it was wrong from the second you went in there. And the guy came down. Hiya, mate. You're here for the consoles. So I was like, yeah. I'll come out and get upstairs. So I went around this metal gate into the flat door, and he started walking up the stairs. I shut the door behind me, started walking up the stairs, and all the fucking lights went off. And my heart dropped. I was in 2 minds whether to turn around and run.
You sure it was your heart that dropped?
Yeah, it was almost everything else as well. But I was so scared. And what it was, in a flat, they got those push buttons where you push the button and it's on a timer. So we obviously pushed the button to come down the stairs. The timer had gone just as I started walking up the stairs. and my heart, I can still feel it now. My heart is going now, and that's not even the end of it. I got to the top, and he was laughing because he must have seen my face. He went, "Oh, sorry, it's the timer." Went in through the flat door, and this door opened. So I went in through the flat door. The door opened, and the door was then blocking another room behind it. And he said, "They're in there." And I was like, "What do you mean? They're in there?" So we had to shut the front door to open the next door to go into it. And there was this little guy. He looks like an alien, honestly. He was sat there. The whole place stunk of weed. The pair of them had just been sat there smoking weed all day. And I went in there, and there was consoles piled everywhere. I was like, "Yeah, I'm just after the broken ones." "Yeah, that's a pile of Mega Drive stuff going over to so-and-so. This is so-and-so. This is that." And I thought, I don't want to know where this has come from. I really don't want to know where this come from. I said, "Do you get this stuff often then?" He was like, Yeah, we get it. We do house clearances. I was like, "No way are you that lucky to get this much stuff on a house clearance." I had
the people are still in when he does them, I'm sure. So
yeah, this sleep.
The house clearances is while they're sleeping.
But within that bundle, I had an Xbox One, the original Xbox One, and that's the one that I've got upstairs, which I'm going to install Streets of Rage on. That one just needed a new power supply, and I cleaned out all the thermal paste and everything else and sorted it. I must have had about 8 consoles in there, ranging from Xbox One down to the Nintendo NES, and I've done repaired that one as well. And I think I paid him 40 quid for the lot. And yeah, that was one of my scariest ever things. I do some stupid shit just to pick up consoles for cheap prices, and yeah, it's not. I didn't even tell my missus about that when I came back home, and I didn't put it in my YouTube video either. I've done the YouTube video about the pickup. If you watch that video, I don't even mention that story because I was so embarrassed that I thought if I did get mugged that day, then it was my stupid fault for doing it, for not going on. I didn't even tell anyone I was going there. So yeah.
Did you just zip the fleece up to hide the flesh wound?
Yeah.
I tell you what, if you watch my channel back, I do exactly the same as you, man. I go in head first thinking I'm getting a bunch of consoles, and I've turned up at drug dens. I've turned up at dodgy places.
Yeah.
So all that's in my mind is, I'm going to get a console. I think of nothing else.
Yeah.
We've got a couple of comments, questions. One's for Sean. What plans does Sean have for his gaming shed layout? Well, I know it's also your work office as well. So
yeah. It's got to be professional, obviously. Well, I don't know. In all honesty, I don't know how long it's going to be. So the idea is we're sort of in two minds what we're doing house-wise at the moment. So if we're going to stay, we're going to extend, or move to a 3-bed place or something. So this is sort of a stopgap at the moment, but I don't know really. But I might get another poster just for everyone, just to hear and maybe hear. I don't know. No, I don't know. The long story is I'm not too sure. So, but not the best answer, really, is it? So, any suggestions?
Yeah. So if there's some, I'll highlight them. Also, Dylan has said, anyone else think Sean looks like Nath Retro 1? Do you know Nath Retro 1? He's a channel on YouTube. You do have similarities to him.
No, never
It's
met
just
him.
not,
I take
it's
it
not
he's
an
his
insult.
nose.
It's not an insult. Dylan, if you ever see Dylan's channel, Dylan reminds me of John Merrick. If anyone knows who that is, he reminds me very much of John Merrick.
I know John Merrick, yeah.
So for those of you who don't know, if you want to Google that after this stream. So my next question to you both is, obviously you briefly touched on it, Sean, that you started collecting once your brother passed away. Is that when you started collecting? And just talk a bit about your collection journey then, what you was getting, what focuses you have sort of thing, and then we'll obviously move to Craig.
So focuses from like the start, or because when I started it was very much Mega Drive, really.
Yeah. Well, from the start, to tell us the evolution of your collection, because I think every one of us who collects, other than me, who just collects fucking random shit for everything, changes their journey of what they want, etc.
Yeah. So when I first started, it started off with, I remember exactly where I was. It wasn't a dodgy pickup. It was on Gumtree at the time. I don't know if Gumtree's still going.
Don't go on Gumtree. My mate Liam got ripped off on Gumtree.
Oh, badly.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Don't go on Gumtree.
Well, it was on Gumtree when Gumtree was quite good, quite early. It was always really good down south. Like, whenever I saw people talking about it on YouTube, like up, north, anything north of London is up north for me. So it's anything like that. So everyone up north seems to have problems with Gumtree, but down south on the south coast, it was always really good. So I remember where it was. I got a Mega Drive bundle, and it sounds ridiculous now saying it. I got a Mega Drive bundle for 60 quid. There was 2 consoles, 4 controllers, and I kid you not, there was about 32 games in it. And at this time on eBay, stuff was still like, it wasn't the price as it is now. But I remember going to pick it up, and I forgot, because I hadn't played like Mega Drive games in so long, forgot how big the game cases were. And the room I had at my parents' house at the time was tiny. So it was like, oh God, where am I going to put this stuff? So that was when I started to thin out stuff and think, right, what do I want to collect here? So if I'm going to collect retro consoles and stuff like that, I've got to decide. So I sold off the games I didn't want, and then I was left to about 8 or 9. And from that point, you then start to build stuff up. And then I would say probably about a year into my channel, I went through buying everything, literally everything. I think the most random thing I bought was those Tiger Electronic, like Sonic the Hedgehog games and things like that. And I couldn't even stand those when I was like a kid. So
one of them.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, and there was that's it. So I had the I had like 3 of those, and I thought, why have I got these? I don't play them or anything, but it's just basically because I had Sonic on it or something, and Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is my favourite game of all time. So so it went from there really, and then you went through buying like. It's always been very Sega heavy. I do like Nintendo, but as you could probably tell from my console history there, I was never really. I always played on SNESes, and apart from the N64, I always played on SNES consoles and stuff like that at mates' houses. I mean, we all had that mate that just had everything when you were a kid. Like it just had absolutely everything. So I've alluded to him 3 or 4 times. Like a guy I went to primary school called Gary. He just had absolutely everything. Like you went there, he had the Mega CD, 32X, and all that. So if you ever wanted to play a console, you go there. So and from that point, it then just kept growing, and I found my videos actually on my channel, especially like you would just make. You're influenced around what you watch. Now I watch a lot of channels now where the content's very mixed. Like you never know what you're going to get. So I watch Pete's Nestastic, really enjoy his stuff. And Pete's been around for years. I mean, I remember Pete when he first started really as well, because I think he started just before me, but I was watching him before I had a YouTube channel. So, and I watch a lot of Alex Blutonic 78. But he's also, he was around Bournemouth when I was a kid. So I'm from Portsmouth, Bournemouth and Portsmouth pretty close. So it's sort of the places he spoke about in his videos were very sort of like I know them. So it was always very nostalgic. So I found that sort of my YouTube sort of, I mean, I've got videos on my channel now from when I've done charity matches and like tours of football grounds and Belgium Grand Prix, Silverstone Grand Prix, trips to Paris to go to retro game stores, Nintendo in New York, and it just there isn't really any barriers now for videos. I'll just do whatever really, and I think that's what you've got to find when you first start. You've got to find what you want to focus on. So at the beginning it was buy, and then you go through the sell, settle on what you actually want to keep, and then you sort of find your feet almost at what you want to do. But and without knowing it, I've actually forgotten what the question was. So.
What's your collection journey, and do you have any focuses now, and have your focuses changed, sort of thing? Like,
yeah, not really. I'm still. I mean, I've started downloading games now on the PlayStation Network due to this COVID thing, and I was always dead against it. But just because I'm very much like, I want the actual physical copy of something. But now I'm very much like, it's so materialistic. Why bother? So. I think for certain games, I mean, obviously my classic games I'm going to keep. I'm never going to get rid of those, but I don't think I'm going to be so hung up anymore on buying like physical copies of stuff. So I think my channel direction now, I might see myself actually downloading a lot more games. Yeah, I mean, channel direction and things like that, I'm just going to carry on doing what I do, really, acting, just covering stuff as and when I feel, really, doing Yeah, I don't really have a blueprint for the channel at all. It just whatever happens.
Have you not drawn one of them up? You draw a blueprint up for everything else, just not your channel.
Yeah, it would be wrong, wouldn't it? So there's no point. So, no, not at all. So it's very much, I quite like those off the cuff videos, which is, YouTube's all about now. People can put a video up 1 minute of like doing a voiceover of a game review, and the next thing, like perfect example, Bluetonic78. I quite like his channel really because he does a bit of everything. Sort of local that I know the landmarks. The videos he puts up I quite like because there'll be the occasional pick-up video. Then he does like Friday Brew and stuff like that. And everyone does these videos, so that's the channel that I've just finished watching before I finished work today. So that's the one off the top of my head. But so I quite like all that, and I think I would like to probably do more of that on my channel. But I do waffle as well. My videos go on for like 53 minutes, an hour, so there's no limits really. But that's just what it is, isn't it?
I watched Alex's video today. His 90s tag one that I think he tagged SNES-tastic in as well. I watched both of them. I'm loving the VR responses everyone's doing at the moment because, I'm imagining you enjoy them as well because you like to learn about the person. So you learn a little bit about that person when they're answering these questions, what sort of things they're into and stuff like that. So, how about you then, Craig? Your gaming collecting journey, what got you into collecting, and what any focuses or was the focuses that have changed, etc.?
I think with most people, it's the same type of journey that I always had consoles growing up, and then I think late 90s, I probably had a couple of the early retro consoles that we call now, so Mega Drives and Master Systems and things, and a couple of games for those, and then as your lifestyle changes a bit in that time and you have kids and you start going out and buying cars and things like that, my life was cars and motorbikes for years, and I couldn't give a crap about computer games at all at that point. And I sold everything off and went back to nothing basically. I probably had a Mega Drive or something knocking around in the attic, but never really a collection on it. And then probably about 5, maybe 10 years ago, as the kids got a little bit older, I started buying things back, and I haven't got a massive collection now. I've got a decent collection of VHS videos down there, which I've been buying for years.
So now you're going to have piqued other people's interest now, like your Gashead Steves and your Craig Minxes, and there's a few others. Although we're game collectors, a lot of us are into the old VHSs as well, so we'll talk about that a bit in a sec.
Yeah, I've got loads, and it's one of those things that they take up so much room, like you said about the Mega Drive size. The VHS, the bloody size on them, you put them on a shelf, and it's half a room before you know it. And but my collection, I suppose, just is starting to grow again. So I haven't got huge amounts of games. I've probably got in total about 300 games across every platform. I got a fairly decent sized Game Boy collection. Again, I just collected them over the years and started building them up just because they were quite cheap. And I was going on eBay and just looking for a couple of search queries set up around Game Boy and different variants of the search words, and then under £2 end, and I just go on the ones which are ending soon or buy it now, and just buy a couple of games every now and then just to top up the collection, the ones I knew. And I started going nuts with. Like everyone says, I went to boot sales and I picked up every PlayStation 2 game you could think of. I'd buy everything in a charity shop you could think of. And I ended up with so many crap PlayStation games that I just never touched and never played on. That I went to a boot sale last year and I sold most of them. I limited that collection right down. I've got my G-Con collection, which I keep for all the light gun games and things. And I've got things like the ones that I played when I had the PlayStation, ones I played when I had the PlayStation 2, and things like I go for collections of like Tomb Raiders and things, and I haven't got completes on any of them. But if I'm going to buy something, it'll be Gran Turismo's or Tomb Raiders or something like that. I wouldn't just go for a random PlayStation 2 game these days, unless it looked really good and I wanted to play it. And everything else that I picked up, I've got Game Gear and I've got other things like that, but I'm not going for a complete set on anything really. If anything, I'm more focused on my Master System and Mega Drive at the moment, mainly because I find Nintendo stuff is just super pricey compared to anything else. Like Super Nintendo, you're lucky to get it boxed unless you're paying a decent price. And Game Boy even harder. Yeah, NES, I got a handful again. Same type of thing. Whenever I go traveling with work or personally, I always try and find a game shop somewhere. So last summer I went to Madrid with work, and I went and found a game shop in the middle of Madrid, and I walked for bloody miles to go to this game shop, and all I did is pick up one or two games and then leave and come home. And it was just to get something to remember that trip by. And if I'm traveling around the UK as well, I'll do the same. I'll try and find a retro game shop and find something locally, and even holidays to the States and things. I've bought games and brought them back with me as well. Yeah, but that's pretty much it. I'm more, as you say, into the gadgets and the hardware and things at the moment. So I think that's where I'm going to go. I've only got a NES Mini and a PlayStation Mini, and I'm not massive fans of the Minis, to be honest. But I've got things like I showed in one of my pickup videos the other day. I haven't installed it yet, but things like I can't see if there's a light. That's the chip for the GameCube. So that's an SD card reader for the GameCube. So I'm more focused on those, and if I want to play games, I can play them through EverDrives or anything else if I wanted to buy them. But it's just more the things I had as a kid, really.
It's just it's like me. I don't like using EverDrives. The only thing that I use for emulation is the original Xbox with coin ops. I like to physically own, but I've noticed that you can get the ones for the Dreamcast now as well, the SD card readers, kind of where you take out the lens and it'll read straight from the hard drive. So is that something you're going to experiment with on one of the GameCubes then, putting that chip in, I'm guessing?
Yeah, so that's going to go in one of the GameCubes. But don't get me wrong, if somebody turned up to my door tomorrow with a bundle of games, I'd fucking buy it. it'd be in my garage in a box somewhere, don't worry. And I've got stacks and stacks of boxes of consoles over there. I must have, I don't know, 4 or 5 Mega Drive 2s, 4 or 5 PlayStation 2s. I've got consoles that I've never played on, just in storage containers. And I need to have a clear out one day and just get rid of a load of them, because I tend to buy a bundle and then just keep the console as well.
See, you're doing it wrong. That I used to always buy the bundle, take out what I need, and then shift everything on us. That's why I sell at the gaming events. Like I have stalls at the markets. I had one at the Bristol Gaming Market when that was on. Just because otherwise, if I did everything I bought.
Yeah, so
it's probably like collecting for free if you can do that. If you can,
yeah.
Because Retro Reclaimer today asked me how I justify when I'm spending stuff to my missus, although I don't fucking justify anything to her because it's my money, I earn it. But if you buy a big chunk of that Mega Drive collection, I remember I bought a Mega Drive with about 40 games. Any that I'd already got, I just sold them, and I think I only paid I sold the console that I didn't need. I think I only paid 40 quid for the bundle. So 30 quid straight away for the system I could get back then. With the other games, 5 or 6 games I've got, sold them for like 5 to 10 quid each. You've already made profit, and you've added about 25 games to your collection.
Yeah,
and
I always find everything comes without a power supply though. So
just buy them. Buy the cheap Chinese ones as well and take them to CX and make it their fucking problem. That's what I do.
Oh, my CEX won't take them. They will not take anything in my CEX. I think somebody told me before that some CEXs are mainland owned and some of them are
corporate and some are franchise.
Yeah, I think my franchise, and they're super weary on what they're taking. I've taken so much down there and they just criticise everything. I took in a box Saturn before, and this box was mint, and they told me they had to take it in as unboxed because the control pad was from a different version of Saturn.
Just tell them bollocks. Take it to Cash Converter. Cash Converter will take anything. That's what I do. 100% sure. That's what. If CEX rejects it, I'll take it down the road to the Cash Converter, and they have it, and they're happy for my business. That's definite for sure. Are we all drinking, or is there only me drinking here tonight? Is my main question. What you got? Goodwin.
This is my home brew.
Oh, home VHS's home brew and a games room. I'm moving in with you.
I tell you, I'm one of these people that just can't sit still. I can't sit down and watch telly. I'm shit with modern movies and things. I don't watch any of them, but I'll sit there and make homebrew beer. They're not like proper homebrew beer. These are the kit ones and things. I got a mate of mine. His channel is Homebrew Griffo. He's a proper homebrew guy. He's got the proper beers and everything, but he's really into it. So I always ask him for advice, and he's like, "You're on the toy brewery stuff, I think." But yeah, it's good fun. I don't mind doing it.
There's a few drinkers in the comments who will probably be going to check that out. So what's it called? Homebrew Griffo.
Yeah, he's good.
So there's a few people there who will definitely be going and checking that out. Thing we'll talk about, I don't know your history, Sean. Have you ever been to any gaming events? I know you've said you've not Goodwin. Have you been to any of the gaming events or any of the meetups? Because I've not seen you, so therefore I'm asking.
No. So I've like I said, anything north of London is north to me. So everything seems to be around that area. Sort of, it's too far away. There's not really a lot down. It's a proper trip to go anywhere to one of these events. So I did go to Blackpool, play Blackpool. I think that was 2016 or 2017. I went to that. I went with a fellow YouTuber actually that I'd never met before. Just he was saying he was going as well. I can't remember. He's not on it anymore. I know it was Steve with about 8 different numbers after his name. So I can't remember, but he's a really nice guy. And I've actually texted him a few times since, so I'm sort of still in contact with him. But yeah, I went there. It was actually really good. It was massively overpriced for what I mean. The arcade and the consoles set out were the best thing about it. Really, the stalls were, like Console Passion and stuff like that are quite overpriced for what you get. So
that's because he runs the event, Andy. Andy, who runs Console Passion, runs the event. So you went to Blackpool. Did you meet any other tubers other than the ones that were there?
I met Shemnuzo, Ben Shemnuzo. That was about it. It's really weird, actually. It's sort of like, when you add your old school friends on Facebook, or you get added and you walk past them in the street, but you wouldn't say anything. So it was a bit like that. So I've got all these people that I speak to on YouTube, and I was like, oh, I'm too scared to go up to these people. But it's just the way it is, So, but I think next time I would, especially with things like this now, because a lot of these live streams and stuff, you actually get to know people a bit more. So I went with my mate Rob. I went to London Gaming Market last year, which a few people have alluded to that I went to, and that was actually pretty decent. I will admit the prices weren't too bad. I heard someone saying they got their food banned or something when they tried to go in or something. Like, it's a bit stringent, but that definitely wasn't the event that I went to. They just let anyone. No. So long story short, I would love to do some of these events. I was chatting in the comments yesterday about the Leeds or the Bury meetup. That's a long way for me to go, but I mean, yeah, as long as there's a bit of warning and stuff for when it is, I would love to come to them. Definitely. I mean, it's definitely.
As I've said several times on this stream, I'm 100% sure whatever the next event is, there's going to be a big turnout. Yeah. So as many of the people who've been on this stream, or those who just sit in the comments, like Darl, like your Darth Steves, who just like to sit in the comments, we all need to have a good meetup, a good chat, and remember the time that we were all stuck at home because of COVID. I, as someone who attends a lot of events, I'm probably becoming part of the furniture, not quite as much as some of the others, but to me, it's like meeting up with your old mates who, although you're in regular contact, once you get together, the banter just flows. There's no pausing in conversation. You've all got a common interest. So I can't advertise it enough to you guys. Definitely come if it's an arcade club meetup, if it's one of the play events. I know you guys come from, I know that you're coming from down south. If you can just meet up with someone at, I don't know, one of the train stations or a motorway service, or get like somewhere where I know a lot of tubers offer people to come up together. I do. I certainly offer my car to anyone who's coming from the Birmingham area. And obviously, Goodwin, you've got the Welsh boys who probably aren't a million miles away that you can meet up somewhere. And they travel up like, Metropolis and Steve, I'm guessing. But I can't advertise the events enough for meetups. They are brilliant. And although I've made a lot of friends on YouTube, the events are what cement it, the times we have together and the laughs. I've got to talk Goodwin because Gashead Steve's in the comments and he's massively interested in your VHSs. So what sort of VHSs have you got and what are you into? Please tell us horror.
No horror, sadly. I can't get all the horrors because they obviously there's a collector's area for them and people buy them up and so everything from 80s onwards. So your Goonies, your Last Starfighter. What else? I'm trying to look.
Do you have Never Ending Story? Yeah,
of course. I'm trying to look over Short Circuit, Labyrinth, Willow.
Brilliant film.
What else have we got? Weird Science. Do you know that one? Top film.
Weird Science, of course I know. I've got a story, man. That's one of the films I used to watch with my brother, man. Kelly LeBrock. All I'll say is, anyone who remembers Kelly LeBrock from Weird Science and has not seen her lately, do not put a fucking name in Google. It will spoil all your memories. Just remember how she was in Weird Science. That's all you need.
Then I got a load of Schwarzenegger films.
Oh, they're asking about Schwarzenegger, Predator, Running Man. Have you got them?
I got Predator. I haven't got Running Man. I don't think. I even got. I can't even see it here, but I think it's Pumping Iron or one of his workout ones. Absolute bonkers. I got a load of Van Damme type things. Some of the Die Hards and things like that. Then right the way through to 90s and stuff. And even got Titanic on the shelf. I just can't turn him down. I'm terrible. What else I got? Yeah, just a mix of everything. I've only got one Betamax film there out of all of them, and that's Smoking the Bandit. I got that on VHS as well. It's one of those collections again that this is another random story that got me into a lot of trouble because when I built this garage, I had a stupid idea that I was going to build a false wall out of VHS tapes, like literally stack them on top of each other with bricks and partition part of like my garage off with VHS tapes. So I put a message out on Facebook that if anyone's got any VHS tapes in their garage or their loft or anything, to let me know. And I went around for about 3 or 4 months collecting so many VHS tapes. I didn't know what to do with it, and most of them were like people's home recordings and things. And I had things like my mates from work always laughed because we went in the boot of my car one day after going out for lunch, and he picked up a film and it said police film on it, and he's like, "What's that?" I was like, "I don't know, it's a police film." Then he picked up another one, war film. These are just VHSs that somebody's picked up, that I picked up, that somebody's recorded off the telly, and that's what they've written on it, war film and police film. And I'm like, I have no idea what's on them. I just wanted the tapes. And now in my loft, I've got so many like copies of Buffy the Vampire Slayer and crap like that I just cannot get rid of now because they're in my loft. And yeah, I feel guilty taking it down the skip.
Talking about like like how you used to record things and stuff, like back in my teen years, obviously I had a VHS recorder in my bedroom, and I used to tape like the Channel 5 like softcore porn films onto VHSs to watch and pass around at school and shit like that. But my genius idea was I had this tape and I put the stickers on, and so my mom didn't find it and know what it was. I wrote blank tape on the fucking side of the tape to try and disguise it from what it was. It was like the worst disguise out of anything that was going, like, sort of thing.
But I got rid of most of the copied ones that people have recorded, and I kept all the original ones. I'm a bit gutted now because I want to. I've still got some in the loft which I'll go up into and have a look, because the one thing I want to watch is the adverts, and hopefully people have recorded the adverts on them. So I want to rip a load of the adverts off of those TV recording ones, and I'll probably get them for copyright, but I don't give a crap. I'll put them on YouTube at some point if I get any.
I always remember, like you're saying, like when I think it was Rocky 2, my dad had recorded off TV, and there was a Terry's chocolate orange advert that he must not have pressed record or stop at the right time, and it was like some guy like Indiana Jones diving through the fucking this maze to get a Terry's chocolate orange, and that still sticks in my head till today, like, sort of thing.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff I watch on YouTube, and I'll watch one, and then 3 hours later I'm still watching crap TV adverts from the 80s. So yeah, I want to have a look if I got any more left, which I can have a look at.
we say crap.
Your selection beats mine at the moment. So my daughter's really into Rosie and Jim at the moment, and YouTube's like a hotbed for Rosie and Jim. And they're all VHS because they're all paused when they start. So, so Rosie and Jim, definitely YouTube is the #1 place for Rosie and Jim, and Thomas the Tank Engine original with Ringo Starr. So, I'm just saying.
Are they on, like, as you say, on YouTube from someone's video? Because last time I went on holiday to shut up my dad's caravan at Skegness, I helped him close up. Because it was pissing down the rain, it was miserable, so I was watching on my iPad like some films that were on on YouTube, and I watched a film called Grizzly, and as you say, it was that bad VHS quality. It was a bad film anyway. Like, it's about a bear. It was done in the 70s, and it's clearly a guy in like in a bear suit reaching through the top of the thing. And I just remember watching that. And YouTube's full of stuff like that. But as for them adverts, you ought to put them in as part of your videos, like at the beginning, halfway, and at the end.
Every now and then I put a video on while if I'm doing something and I know it's going to be an hour, 2 hours long while I'm out here, I'll put a VHS on. And I think one of the videos I've done about 3-4 videos ago, I was watching Crocodile Dundee out here, and I was just like every now and then just going to the camera and putting the film up on there for a bit. And yeah, I love it. That's one of my things I want to do a lot more, is integrate some of the videos that I'm watching whilst I'm doing stuff. As you say, there's always something on in the background, whether it's another YouTube channel or a video or something. So I'm going to start integrating that into my channel, I think.
The one good thing that I love about these streams, and as Sean said earlier, some people's videos you don't actually need to be watching. You can listen to them, and I've taken a lot more then. And normally there's all, as Sean said, there's something you hear that perks your interest, and then you're like, oh, I need to do that. Like these streams, a lot of people listen to these streams the next day. Like yourself, you said you've been working away and you've been listening to them. And sometimes you take it in a bit more. Like, I'm under no illusion. No one here in the comments is looking at us. I could stick my fingers up and everything. They wouldn't give a shit, because they're all talking to themselves in the comments and listening to what we're talking about. But to me, that's much more interacting than just doing a normal video sometimes. But I definitely enjoy it, that's for sure. So, for my final question to you, we have briefly... are you going to carry on with YouTube? Do you have any ideas of any future videos? We'll go to Sean first. Like, I know your videos are very sporadic and very long when you do them. Have you got any in the pipeline?
Well, speaking of long videos, yes, I do. So I've currently recorded 5 episodes over an hour long. So everyone's going to it's LMA Manager 2005. I've really enjoyed playing that. Now, it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I've just done it to keep on my channel. So it really doesn't bother me if they've only got like 7 views in 5 years. It really doesn't bother me. So, but ideas for the channel going forward, just the same, really. Like I said, it's sort of, as long as YouTube's going, I'm honest, I'm never going to delete my channel. So even if I'm inactive for a good few years, I'll always come back to it. But yeah, I mean, there's never really been a script for this channel, so just sort of done it as and when felt like it. So yeah, pretty much the same going forward. So it's not really going to change much. Maybe a few more posters. Maybe I was thinking actually I might get a second minion. So I've got this minion up here that's used to annoy my old boss. So I used to have him on my monitor. I only used to keep him because it annoyed him so much. So. I might get a second minion. I don't know. Might mix things up. So no. So I don't know. We'll see what happens, really. So
I tell you now, while there's no football on, is the time to get them LMA videos up.
Yeah.
Because I was doing the Football Manager ones, and people enjoy watching them, man. So it might be a perfect.
Yeah, I only like LMA Manager because you can build the stadiums, so you can get like the San Siro in Division 2 or something. So yeah, I mean that's the only reason I do it. But yeah, I did see the Championship Manager ones, like all the players on there. You got like Richard Snakers and Lee Hughes and players like that. So
yeah. So what I am going to say to you, there is like a little YouTube community playing an online app phone game, Football Manager sort of thing called OSM. So there is still some spaces in the Premier League. So
Oh, really?
If you check out Big Game Al, will probably put what it's called in the link, because I think they're still after players. So if you watch the comments.
Nice.
So how about you, Goodwin? Are we going to get more collecting? Goodwin, why have I called you Goodwin? I know your name's Craig.
I normally go by Goodwin for a lot of people, to be honest, but mates of mine anyway. But yeah, so I think for me, it's going to be a mix of mods and stuff on the consoles and fixing things again. But I never used to do pickup videos, so I started doing them over the last couple of weeks, and I've started doing pickup and play. So rather than just a pickup video and showing you to the camera what I picked up and then it goes on the shelf and doesn't come off for a year or two, I make sure that every single video now, if I pick up games, I put them in the console, I ever go on it, and it's mainly for that nostalgic reason. So the first one I did it on was RC Grand Prix for the Master System, and I loved that game as a kid, and I couldn't remember what it was like until you put that game in, you switch it on, and you hear that music come on for the first time, and you're like, shit, I remember it now. I remember this. I can't remember everything about the game, but I've just done another one which I've got to edit and put out with Wonder Boy 3 on there and Gauntlet, and again 2 other games which I loved as a kid, and if I bought them and I was in a rush, I would have bought them, I'd have stuck them on the shelf, and I'd have forgotten about them. But I'm taking that time now to everything I buy, I put it in console and I record a bit of play on them. I've got to get some bits and pieces sorted for some of the consoles, because I've got an Elgato system running for recording some of them, but like the Master Systems and things, I haven't got the SCART cable, so I need to get them sorted. But yeah, that's my main thing really, is just carry on what I'm doing, and I'll probably throw in the odd motorbike video now and then when I'm on a trip out somewhere or something else. But yeah, I've been to Arcade Club in Bury before, and I filmed some of that, and I deleted it all because I didn't want to put it up on YouTube. That was before I started doing all this. I wish I kept it now, because yeah, there was some nice footage there, and really enjoyed going up there. So next time there's an event, I'll probably be there, do some filming, and I don't know, just see how it goes. But yeah, I haven't really got a plan. I don't really care about how my channel goes over the next 6 months, 12 months, whatever. But I think even if I decide to stop this in a year or two's time, I probably won't delete it. I'll leave it as a bit of an archive just for my own reference and my family and things to have a look at. None of my family watch this, by the way. They don't watch any of my videos. I could say anything in my videos and they wouldn't have a clue. And even when I was nominated for YouTube of the Month, you'll probably see that I think the only people that voted with me, they all got their username was something Goodwin. That's because that was my kids and my wife. And that's because I put it on my Facebook, and that's the only people I think actually went for it. But other than that, I'm not really worried. I enjoy doing it. I enjoy having a laugh with this, and yeah, just being part of the community is good. And I'm never going to remember names. I'm crap with names for everyone anyway. So just meeting people at events in the future is probably what I want to do and what I want to get into a little bit more. That's me.
What I will say is both of you two, although I did message you both to come on, people didn't know you were coming on, and they were asking me to get you on. So that's detriment to you both. That's good. You know, you are liked amongst the community, and people wanted to listen to you and talk to. Always, I get people messaging me saying, "Have you asked such and such to come on?" And I always say the same thing: just watch the stream and find out. So normally, no one knows who's coming on, and I like to keep it that way as a little bit of a surprise. But you two guys were both messaged when people message me on WhatsApp. Believe it or not, without trying to blow smoke up my own arse, I get people messaging me on a daily about this. Oh, have you asked such and such to come on, or have you asked this person to come on? And I want to say, yeah, I've already asked them or something, or they're coming on this day. But I like to keep it a surprise. And you two, your both name come up more than once. So obviously people in the community want to hear what you have to say. And I'm guessing they both want you to do more content. I know Schmupp's Pilot's saying he's really looking forward to looking back at your past videos, Goodwin, because obviously you must have perked his interest. And he's another new YouTuber. And the one great thing about this stream is we're all discovering new people to watch, new content to watch. So, believe it or not, we're in the last 5 minutes. So, stream's gone really quick tonight, man. I like to personally thank you both for being on, and thank you on behalf of the people who are watching. It's been great talking tonight. Something that Sean likes doing. We've all learned a little bit more about each other tonight. So, like you say, it's that icebreaker of when you go to an event, you almost feel like you already know each other, and making that talk and that first introduction easy. And it'll be great to meet up with you guys and have a drink at some point.
Yeah,
that's for sure. So, what I like to do is finish the stream is with a message from you guys to everyone who's been watching. So, Sean, if you want to go first, and just a message to everyone who's been watching or who are listening to this stream back.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thanks for everyone that's commented. I have been sorry, you've probably seen me sort of looking at the side here. I've been reading the comments at the same time. There's some proper funny stuff going on in those comments. Yeah,
they're weird, but I like them.
Yeah. I just want to thank everyone that's ever checked out my stuff. Like I said, I do waffle on my videos. I do. I probably don't apologise for that. I'm waffling now as I talk. So, I just wanted to say the YouTube community recently has really, really benefited from this. People being at home and creating content. So I've really enjoyed seeing all these new channels coming up. And if you're a new channel and I've just subbed to you and I put one comment on your first video, you know that you've probably got about 20 other comments coming if you've got 20 videos. So I do apologise for that. But yeah, that's so anyway, you have been warned. But no, just want to say thanks to everyone that's checked out this stream and everything like that. And also anyone that also works for the NHS and things like that that's watching this, just thank you very much for all the work you're doing at the moment. Really appreciate it.
That's brilliant, Sean. Thank you. And a message from you then, Craig?
Yeah, so same type of thing. Thank you to yourself, first of all, Dana, for the invite to be here. And you were one of the first people to start commenting on my stuff. And as you mentioned right at the back at the beginning as well, Russ as well. So Russ Newton and his streams and things is probably where I got to meet a lot of people in this kind of the UK community. So please bear with me while I try and remember everyone's name and everyone's channels and things. I sub most people. Every time I see a new name coming up in the chats and things, I sub to them. And yeah, I'm going to be the same type of thing, watching back loads and loads of videos now. I've got so much content to watch that I'll never need a Sky TV subscription again. I'll think the best feature for the rest of my life. But yeah, and the same kind of message really. Please, just everyone keep safe. I know the advice can be painful at sometimes, but stick to the lockdown wherever you can and listen to all the testing and things that's going to be coming out. I get to see a little bit around that, and it's going to be a bit of a journey, but it's going to be worthwhile in the long run, I hope. But yeah, cheers to everyone, really. Thank you.
No worries.
Sorry, Craig, expect some comments tomorrow, mate.
Yeah.
I'll have to sub to you. I'll probably do it Monday, but
yeah, cool.
What I want to say is, just final word from me to you two is thank you both for being on. You've been great guests. I've enjoyed talking to you and getting to know you both a little bit more. Been a brilliant stream. I'm just going to drop you guys backstage while I do my little outro sort of thing. So thank you both.
Brilliant. Thank you.
No worries. Right, guys. Another two great guests, Craig and Sean. Two very nice guys. Very active in the comments, which is, why I like these sort of tubers, that they're not just watchers, that they actively take part in YouTube. As I say, if Sean follows you, he's going to comment on every video and he will watch and listen to it, and it's brilliant. And I'm just happy that I can be the person who introduces some of you guys to these people for the first time and introduce them to you. It's a real privilege in the position that I am in currently to be able to do this. It looks like we are going to have an after party. Steve, Addy Sneaker Freak, is going to be setting it up. So if you want to be in, drop me a message on Instagram or drop me a message on Facebook if you have me, or Discord. We can have 6 people in. If there's 6 of you who want to come in, I can definitely do that. Just drop me a message. It's all done on StreamYard. It's not recorded or anything. So if you want to do that, I'll also just put a little banner up to the Discord group for anyone who wants to join. We've added loads of little threads if you want to buy and sell, talking about YouTube. It's all free. There's no, it's no subscription. It's not to promote my channel. It's just a totally little independent chat where we all talk to each other. So if you copy that link, that's up. So if you want to come back and check the video and copy it, I'll try and put it in the description, remember. And you want to hang out and talk, please go and do that. But again, I've not currently got a stream planned for tomorrow because I've got no guests. That could change. But if not, I'm definitely back on Monday. I might give myself the weekend because I want to play some Street of Rage 4. But if I get some guests, I will be here. So keep an eye on my feed. But I have got a video coming up tomorrow anyway. So again, thank you all and good night.